Hey, this is Jake with Trickfish, and I wanted to give you an overview of our new VCA compressor pedal. So, like the title suggests, this is a VCA compressor circuit, so that's voltage controlled amplitude or voltage controlled amplifier. And basically what that means is the input signal is creating a voltage that the compressor is reacting to and adjusting gain accordingly. So it's a very fast compressor, it's very accurate and very musical. The most common popular compressors that would be associated with this design would be like the DBX 160 or the API 2500. There's been a bunch of others, but those are sort of the ones that people reference as like classic VCA compressors. But, essentially, we really wanted to make a compressor pedal that was musical, that was dynamic, that had a lot of control. We wanted something that was, transparent and accurate, but also kind of had some of the special sauce that, we love. There's certain compressor pedals or certain vintage compressors that have just this nice, studio magic kind of sound to them. And so we were like, how do we thread the needle between getting some of that sauce and also creating something that's like natural and musical and transparent? So that was the design goal with the VCA. It also doesn't alter the sound of your instrument, entirely. You still sound like your bass, but you're getting a very nice compression sound. So there's 4 knobs on this pedal, as you can see. You've got a threshold knob, which basically dictates how much of the signal is hitting, how strong the signal is hitting the compressor. So this threshold is kind of like a combination of input and threshold knob. You've got this ratio knob, which is variable all the way from 1 to 1, which is basically no compression, all the way up to a unity or an infinity signal, at which point the compressor starts to act more like a limiter. The nice thing about it being a knob and not a switch is that you can really get in there and dial in exactly how much you want. This pedal also has a wet-dry blend, which is crucial. I think it's pretty fantastic. So basically you can dial in as much compression as you want, and then you can use this wet-dry in order to have as much of your clean signal passing through. You can have a heavy compression, but also have a lot of dry signal passing through. You can have a light compression, but use a more wet setting. There's an output level here, basically to make sure that the signal coming out of the compressor, you're getting the right amount of volume and signal either into your amplifier or into the rest of your effects chain, depending on where you've got this. There's a LED indicator here, and that LED basically is going to show you how much input signal you're sending into the compressor. People have asked about the attack and release settings on this guy. The attack and the release are fixed. It's like a slow attack, it's about 40 milliseconds, and then it's about a medium release, about 200 milliseconds. But those parameters are also kind of dependent on the signal it's being fed. So it changes a little bit. With a louder signal, with a lower frequency, it will adapt a little bit with those attack and release settings so that it maintains this musicality. So it allows a little bit of the lower signals to kind of breathe a little bit more. And that way you're not getting too much of a squash even at higher compression settings. It's a really handy design to make sure that the pedal still sounds musical and dynamic and has a nice responsive character, even when some of your settings might be changing around that. So we'll go ahead and get some sounds with the VCA compressor so you can hear what it sounds like.